I broke 4 headlights last year. I got the rear subframe out. These, obviously they're already painted and wrapped as last year, but I can peel the wrap off, they can repaint them. Body panels mostly done. All right guys, we are back on the Supra, doing more body panel fitting. Got a rear bumper ready. I wanted to show you guys this. This is pretty cool stuff. Ooh, look, that one, I got distracted. Carbon fiber, full rear bumper, and I trimmed the little piece off. That, I'm gonna just run it one of the rounds, or hopefully a couple rounds, it'll make it. I'm not gonna paint it, because the back of my car, typically we paint it black. So, you know, we're gonna be black again. That's close enough to black. That'll be a cool feature. Okay, check this out. This is last year's subframe. From afar, it looks good, but let's kind of get close. Like right here, crack, crack, which I showed you guys this momentarily, but I cleaned it yesterday. Big crack. We got a big crack here, smaller crack here, blown off chunk here. Sad, but it did its job for many years. Here's a fresh one. Slight changes to it. Like the one change we did is we didn't add this bar because it's additional weight. It probably did help it last longer, but if I can get like 2-3 years, I'll be good with that. This is all cleaned up. Front subframe, I couldn't find any cracks or hairline fractures, nothing. So the accident didn't do much to the front of the car. It was mostly the back, as we saw. Some of these really cool parts, like I'm not gonna run anymore, like these upper arms I had made last year to run, but I still sell these on the website for street car guys, because it's like a really nice part with, you know, spherical bearings and adjustable while it's on the car for camber adjustments, and it's a billet upper control arm. We're waiting on longer pieces of this black hose. It's like submersible. It basically feels just like the inside of a PTFE hose. So we can install this into our fuel hat from Radium, which goes like this, holds 3 pumps, and then has a little T-handle. And I've already installed, because you can kind of remove the T-handle, already installed my lift pump over here for Radium, and it has one non-brushless pump inside there. And then the last piece I'll install, this would be in the way, as you can see. I gotta undo that, but we'll do it. We got the back of the car all dialed like I showed you before. So those are some updates. I'm gonna be working on the car the next couple of days, and we'll get more progress for you guys. Ooh, we're looking for Loctite, guys. Should we go blue or red? We're going red. Heavy duty. 277. More progress has been made. Upgraded to WiseFab here. Also WiseFab on these axles, and we got 2 sets of the axles. They came really quick, very reasonably priced, and we know that they're gonna work because so many other drivers have been using them in Europe and in America. So we're good there. This is the hat that we make, the Rad Industries one, but that we custom did for the Supra, but uses Wilwood calipers, Wilwood rotors. And it does bolt to here, but as you can see, there's only 2 points of contact. So our guy that does our machining is helping us make a piece we're gonna weld here, then we'll paint it blue, weld there, paint it blue. So looks like it's part of WiseFab. If you guys have a Supra, I guess not a SC300, just a Supra, because they don't make SC300 rear, we can adapt that for you guys as well if you're trying to do WiseFab and dual caliper, because they didn't have dual caliper. So pretty exciting that this all bolted in. We should have this in the car in a couple hours here, but we're doing a lot of things all at the same time. But this is really close, but we measured it. We had 0.09 of a millimeter of clearance, so we're okay. All right, we need to calm down over here. We forgot to video. Subframe's in. We're still going to disconnect here and here, adjust a little bit for camber. We're gonna adjust this too, because check that out. It wants to kiss it there. Ooh, look at that clean, sexy underbody that we did. Ooh, that's nice. Never seen before. Last thing for today, we're gonna get that rear subframe in, and then we're working on spares to hang up in the trailer as well all day. David basically matched, which this side was how we wanted it for our alignment. He matched all these measurements. Guess what we're doing, guys? Working on the Supra.
Oh man, it's that time.
We got this guy here.
Y'all know
I
me.
think that's Matt. Okay, so lots of little things happened to the engine. We put these like misalignment dowels in. So that's set for the season so we can not have any misalignment with our clutch alignment and transmission. And we put a fresh ACT clutch on, looking good. And now it's gonna go in the car. All right, so I'll try and film guys, but it's gonna get hectic. Let's see how this goes. I think it was actually easier than the other mounts I've ever used.
The new mounts?
Yeah, these are the first time with the PHR billet mounts. They look amazing, and once again, PHR usually makes really top tier parts that work perfectly. Do the top one, and then I'll get the forklift out of the way, because if he's...
You want to tighten this now?
Yeah, tighten that now. See how that moves us into place more? Yeah, now we're centered. More updates. Last we left off, we had just put the engine in. So now we have more stuff in. We got oil filter thing, housing, oil cooler, intercooler, the transmission's even in, bell housing, clutch, drive shaft, and then lots of messing around with this rear wise fab has been happening because the wheel is a little further forward, a lot more further forward now with wise fab. So we're extending this track arm here to kind of get us somewhat back to near where it had been before. It's not going to be the same, so we had to trim some of this out. We may have to trim some of this metal out more. It's very close with the GT because it's a fat tire. Since the drop knuckle, now the tire itself goes deeper in the wheel well. So we just have to put it through. See, there's no spring in there, and we're cycling it a lot right now to find out how it's all going to play out, because I don't want to get to the track and be like, oh, we didn't do this. So we're just doing everything now. Then we're gonna go put it on an alignment rack and we're gonna cycle it again. We made new rear arms because it's a little different pickup point on the wise fab than it was on the previous setup. Renee's been wrapping. So we got chrome blue, white. There's gonna be other colors. In theory, if the rear wise fab improves everything as much as we think it will, then I'm gonna need a front bar again. We have to rethink how the front bar connects up here. So we're gonna make different arms in front and try and make it pick up somewhere, make an end link come off here or whatever we can, maybe off the back side of this shock mount here, make the arm go like that, put the end link here. Real close quarters in that area, but we'll make it work. Oh, we put the fuel pumps in too, into the radium hanger, drop that in, so that's a done deal in the back. Okay guys, so I've made some notes for myself with what the lash was, and it was super tight. If you know JZs, you know these numbers are too small. I have to do a little bit of math here, figure out the smaller buckets to install to get our lash where we want it, and then we're good to go. This side was pretty darn close, but I want it to be perfect, so we're gonna adjust it a little bit. This side, super tight. Okay, let's go over here. This is a Shimless bucket. This is what was in there. This is the intake side, that's the exhaust side. A little tight because we made a change to the cams. We want to evolve 10% every year with the car, so we're trying something new. What we're gonna do here is reset the lash without doing any machine work, because these are a little bit smaller overall height than this one would be, and I can get my lash dialed in over there. We were waiting on these to show up from Toyota. They're here, so now we can get to work. 06, and then come down to the bottom. 5.074. That's in millimeters. That's our range. And the cool thing is, in America, we use thousandths of an inch. So now you get to convert all that. Super fun. Wouldn't the metric system be just that much easier? But of course, no. We want to do things in thousandths of an inch. Okay, fun fact. 1 millimeter equals 39,000.3701 thousandths of an inch. Chew on that one for a while. See you guys later. Fun with math, guys. Jump over here real quick. We were at 5.36 millimeters, which equals 0.211023 of an inch. Basically, we're going off the thousandths, and I needed to reduce it by my set number over there, or extend it to get within my range of where I want it to be at the intake lash. So I've picked between these two here that I'm gonna switch it to, and then I have to do the equation for that last one that was had a little more lash. So maybe the machine shop was like 1 thou or 1.5 thou off from, which is still within spec. You have 4 thou of spec there. Gonna figure that one out, do some calculations here, and then we will get to where we need to go, and then we'll go to the exhaust side. Then we'll put the cams in one at a time, rotate them around so there's no interference, double check our work, very time consuming what we're doing, then we'll assemble everything else. We were able to set the lash, install the cams. I've even installed the timing. We're about to roll everything over a couple times, but getting these last bolts in, then I'll snug them down. Then we'll roll this over, double check everything kind of is moving correctly. Then I can install the rest of the front end stuff, and then I don't know if you guys also do this. I like to do that. Here, I'll show you. So this is some Loctite 242, blue, medium strength. And then I do this. And if you have enough, you can do it with like 3 in a row, but now they both have it kind of nice inside the threads. So this is the fluid amper. This here is the adapter that we make. Rad Industries part, we make that. And then we make this pulley, make this bracket for our power steering kit. And then we also make this pulley that adapts onto, kind of locks in, see how it keyways in the back of this adapter, and then that allows you to run this other power steering kit. But since I don't take it off too often, I like to do a little blue Loctite on there. All these parts can be bought on the website, along with these really cool front covers, the upper water neck, the outlet, and then the lower water inlet, alternator bracket, the timing tensioner that you can't see any longer. Yeah, it's kind of fun to run all the parts that we build and put them to the test. I'm going to tighten that down. We're not going to install the belt today because we're going to move on to next. What we're going to do, see how this doesn't quite reach? It did in the past with a little bit of a different turbo. So we're upgrading from the BorgWarner EFR 9274. Those are the numbers that EFR uses, but just to like get a grasp on the size of the inducer and exducer. 9274 would have a 72 millimeter inducer size for the impeller wheel. Exducer would be 65 millimeter. This is an 9280. So this has a 74, so it's 2 millimeters upsize from my last year's turbo. But then this is a 73 in the rear, so that's up a lot from 65. So in a sense, it would be a little bit leggier because the back takes a little bit more volume to get it going. But we're gonna ramp up on our VVTi and try and only lose like, let's say 200 RPM spool up, and we're gonna also shoot it with nitrous to help with that. So maybe we can get it to land similar to it was before. And then it should give us more horsepower up top for a long way. We're hoping 75 more horsepower overall, but like keep the mid-range super meaty like we had, but bring it all the way out to the top, which in the past we'd lose a little bit of horsepower up top, but we had a real good mid-range, trying to kind of do the best of both worlds. Okay, so we got 2 Sunex adjustables. And if you guys notice, I have a hard line, this hard line, that it goes to a soft line. The reason I do that is so that I can kind of have some wiggle room when it comes time to getting it to reach over to the oil pan drain. The only thing is, like, you only have so much, and we didn't have enough with this new turbo. It didn't want to reach, but I'm gonna figure that out here. This is not tight yet, but I have to remove this cover to tighten that nut up inside there. But what we're gonna do is build a little bit longer one of these. I'll show you guys how we build these XRP crimp hoses. And these are faded anyway, so it's time. This is many years old. We're gonna go back and forth from Crimp machine to the car, get this dialed in, and then you guys will see how these are made. So this is a dash 10. Here's the Crimp machine. We're gonna go in the dash 10 drawer. I'm guessing we're gonna be able to use the same size, which looks like a 45. Grab a 45. We're gonna grab a straight. Grab 2 crimp collars. And yes, there's a lot of fittings here, but we build a lot of stuff, so we just keep it in stock. Maybe I have some, yeah, we're in luck. Okay, so what we do is I'll crimp one end of it, and I'll kind of walk back and forth to the car, make some marks with, I'll tape it also, and then I'll make some Sharpie marks on the tape, and I'll show you guys that real quick. But more importantly, what you're gonna wanna watch is how we build everything. And let's see how that doesn't look like it should fit. Let me show you how we do that. So we take this tool. Right now it was set up with a 16. This is a spreader for the hose, so I'm going to clamp it here in the vise, and we have this all set up over here, just like all this. It's just for building hoses. Really fun to do for me. I don't know if everyone likes it as much as I do, but I enjoy it. I don't like the way that looks, so I'm gonna nip that off. So this blade is just for cutting AN lines. Here's the end I freshly cut. Shove it in there. This is the hose spreader. I guess it's called an expansion tool actually, but it's opening this up a little bit. So I do like 3-4 pushes on it. Here's what it looks like, what it does. There you go, you got a visual. Then I'm gonna do the 45 side. So then, just so you see, you're able to slide it on there. And you saw before, it wasn't allowing itself in there. So now you spread it a little bit, I had the collar there, we were able to get the hose end in. And now we come over here to the machine. But what we need is, I had a dash 16 in there, you need a dash 10, so we gotta go to our dies. These dies are pretty specific, so if you had a die that was for a different hose type, you would need multiple sets of dies so that you could accommodate all the different hose types. I'm using race crimps. Now we have to crimp it down, and we're gonna watch our pressure here. So it's gonna take a second, but we'll show you. Okay, so I want there to be about 1 millimeter of overlap, so that, because the collar will expand and come upward and go downward. So I've recessed the collar about 1 millimeter below, or maybe a 1/16 of an inch, whatever you want to think, below the teeth here on the die. And now it's kind of holding itself in place. And now we're gonna go to 4,500 PSI. So here we go. So I went a little bit above, which is okay. Then I release it. Release this a little bit, pull it through. That's a finished crimp. That end's good to go. There won't be any clocking on this one because we're gonna use a straight at the other end, so it's pretty simple. So then when I told you earlier, we're gonna walk back and forth to the car. We're gonna do that now. Bring a piece of tape, and we're gonna grab a Sharpie, and this will allow us to kind of line up where we need it to be. I also need to do this right, I need to thread my straight end onto this other male end here, and then we're gonna line it up and kind of get the depth of where we think it would be, and then we're gonna Sharpie mark it. See how it would kind of just line up. I almost need more tape, but it would line up towards the end of the tape right there. Probably mark it right there, and then run back over there and get that in there and get it to work. I'll go a little longer. I'm gonna go to right here. Okay. All right, guys. Once we cut this, we only get this one chance, because we don't have any more hoses or fittings. Get this one chance now. But once we cut it, you kind of do or die on this. So we made it a little long, and we're hoping that it will seat right against that collar there, that edge. within reason, should just thread in. We'll find out together, but let's cut it and let's go. I'm gonna work on this a little bit tomorrow and I'll share some stuff that I'm doing with you guys. So if you notice, I'm not filming myself today. So should we show you who's filming?
Yo, what's up?
So we got Jarji here. He's from Georgia, country of Georgia. His pronunciation is Jarji for his name.
Yeah.
He taught me how to say it, but he's new, he's helping us out. Pretty cool because he's here in Florida. So
Yeah.
it's exciting for us, and we're hoping he will be with us at FD at most of the rounds, if not all of them. And so you guys should get to see a little bit more in depth, like behind the scenes and like real action, like you saw when I was building on some stuff right now. So say what's up to this guy.
What's up?
All right, so that's it for today. That's it for this episode, guys. So now it's up to me to get the rest of this stuff wrapped up and get the car running. But you're gonna have to jump on to our next episode. So thanks for watching this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and tune back in a couple days, and we're gonna have this thing running and hopefully at the dyno shortly thereafter.